It was really sick to meet you at the bodybuilding competition, and great job on your outcome there, man.
Thank you, I appreciate it, and what a coincidence, and lovely to bump into you and meet into you in person. You know, in today's times we always see each other on social media, you know, things that are trending, and to be able to meet you was actually awesome. So yes, well done on your placings as well.
Yeah, awesome, man. It's a ton of fun, that bodybuilding thing, right? Yeah. But you know, what got you into bodybuilding in the first place?
So, you know, you could almost strap yourself into a seatbelt for this one, because this is actually, it actually goes so wide and so broad, but I'm going to narrow it down for you. So basically, what got me into fitness is I was always a super skinny kid, okay, believe it or not. And, and I was always, you know, had a lot of friends playing sports and rugby, and I said to myself, you know, like I got a little insecure about it, and eventually I said, you know, I want to do something. Let me just get into a little bit of exercise and just want to build a little bit of something, have some meat on my frame. And fast forward a little bit, started that journey. But along the line, as I started getting into high school and a little bit older and after high school, I kind of lost it. I got into quite a dark space in my life where I kind of went off the rails and off track. And
haven't we all been there, you know? It happens, yeah?
Yeah, and eventually, you know, it was in that space where I was in a really bad place, and that actually brought me into fitness. And I thought if I could take myself out of that by this lifestyle, I want to get into this to be able to help other people do that.
Yeah.
So that's my journey.
So you found your therapy, and you found your safe space, and you found your place where you can just like vent all of that out, right?
100%, and it's, you know, so amazing, because it's every little bit of investment and time you put into it, it's going into you, and you get your result. However hard you work, however hard is, you know, what you're going to get out. So
there's one of the things that I absolutely love about bodybuilding is it's so pure. Like when you're standing up there on the stage, it's you either did the reps or you didn't, and everyone can see.
100%.
As you either stuck to your diet or you didn't, and everyone can see as well. And like the worst thing for me is like standing up there and knowing I could have given it more.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I definitely don't want to go there, man.
No, I mean, you know, that's exactly it. Is however hard you're going to go, and how much ever focus you're going to put into this, is people, you know, the body doesn't lie. You know, what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about it.
Oh, no, lekker, man. And like, you know, so I got divorced. I had a dad bod. I was way overweight. And I just initially wanted a six-pack.
Wow.
So I took about a year to lose about 20 kilograms.
Okay.
And then, I don't know, I'm just wired to like take things to the next level. So then I was like, okay, well, what else can we do with this thing? Like, how far can we push it? And so I just kept on building until I got my wife's a competitive bodybuilder, went to a few of those shows, and then I was like, let me give this thing a bash. Let me see how far I can go with it. Anyway, so she's a champion. She'll like take over the world, you know. So it's cool to do. Yeah, no, definitely. So it's cool to do something together. But yeah, man. So, what do you think separates someone who just goes to the gym versus someone who takes it to that next level and wants to be a competitive bodybuilder?
You know, that's a good question, and I think, you know, the main thing about what makes and separates that difference is probably the mindset, because being a competitive athlete is in a league of its own. You know, going to the gym, eating healthy and training and going back home, that's one thing, you know, and respect to those that are doing that, because they're still showing consistency, and it's hard work, and it's day after day repetitiveness. When you want to be a competitive athlete and step on the stage, now you're entering a whole new world, okay, because you're literally putting yourself in your own world. You know, as I call it, you're living in a box. So you're waking up, you know, at the same time every day, you're eating at the same time every day, eating the same food every day, and the extreme you take your body to, as you know, it's not normal. Okay, it's crazy to say, but it's really not normal. Yeah. And you know, when you're doing that, you end up, you know, going and being so focused on what you're doing that the things around you become blur. You know, and that's where we can even get into a whole new topic of conversation where, you know, a lot of other things around you get affected because you're so focused and so driven that nothing else matters but what you're doing right now. And sometimes I'm sure, you know, you would have experienced people think, you know, you're so full of yourself, you're so, what's the word is, Yeah, you know,
almost arrogance
yeah,
about it,
egotistical arrogance. But in actual fact, is you know, you're not even worried and thinking about that. You're just so worried about you and every moment. And I think that's what separates taking it to that level and just going to the gym.
For sure. But like, you know, just what resonates a lot with me is, you know, if you want to pursue any goal at that level, because like you want to compete to win. But if it's business, if it's a business goal, if it's a family goal or relationship goal, you get like so focused and driven to achieve that one thing that everything else becomes a blur. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily just competitive bodybuilding, but I think it's the competitive pursuit of any goal gets you into that frame of mind. And it's just a lot of people don't understand the bodybuilding side because it is so narrow, it is so meals, it is nutrition, it's training, it's cardio, it's fucking everything every single day. But if it was a business goal, it would be exactly the same. It's just not eating that. It would be meetings, deep work, all that. Yeah.
Well, you know, 100%. And that's what I love about this lifestyle is that, you know, you and I are both sitting here successful businessmen. And the great thing about the bodybuilding, what I find is that with that mindset of that pure willpower to do, okay, whether we don't feel like doing it, whether we do feel like doing it, come rain, come snow, whatever that it is, we're going to do it. And as you just said, whether it's business, family, you apply that mindset to any area of your life, whether it's relationships, as you just said, work challenges, you can overcome anything because it's that strong. And that's what a lot of people tend to, you know, forget when they're looking at athletes like us is, okay, this is all they can do, just meathead.
Yeah.
It's like,
meathead, go lift some weights, bro.
Go lift some weights, you know, all gains, no brains, you know, typical stigma.
That's it, yeah.
But, you know, there's a lot that goes into it. And I think that if a lot of people, you know, I'm sure this goes on a lot of people's heads, but no one ever actually, like, relates it with anyone else to actually be like, hey, listen, Grant understands what I'm saying. Yeah. You know, he's doing it, and he's a product of the example. He's put in the work, he's applied it to his relationship, he's got a successful relationship, he's got a happy wife, he's got a good business, he's making money, and he, you know, he's looking good and feeling good. Yeah. And I think that's what's really important, you know, is getting that out there. And
oh, definitely. For sure. But it's like, you know, some people just aren't wired to be elite. And like stepping on the stage, specifically a bodybuilding stage, is like such an elite thing to do because like the 1% of the 1% actually stand on the stage and actually compete.
Yeah.
Never mind go on to become a pro and anything like that, but it's just like having that, making that decision and getting yourself into that competition, you know, shredded physique.
Yeah, it's
like
next level.
Hardly anyone can actually have the focus to do that. But I find it exactly the same with people and achieving goals. Most people say they want to lose a bit of weight or they want to step on a stage or they want to do all this stuff. But as soon as it starts to get hard, that's when they're like, I don't really feel like it anymore. And like you say, but like that's the thing with being competitive. You know, I don't think it's just one area of life, like you say. It just how some people are wired to just take things to that next level. And I find, you know, bodybuilding, business, relationships, like I say, you know, if you apply that mindset to things, to all of those areas, you get an incredible result.
It's amazing. It's exactly that. You know, it can go to a point that you never thought you could take it. You know, and when you have the least hope, and you go through something like that, what you take out of that journey, you know, sometimes, like I say, the journey is sometimes more important and more valuable than you know, the point at where you're trying to get. So it's like that whole mission along the journey versus getting to the point where the finish line is can be more valuable than getting there.
Of course, because it's sticking it out over an extended period of time, like through all the adversity and all that, and still making sure that you come out on top. Yeah, that journey for me has been incredible as well. It's like the first competition that I did at the end of last year, I was like, my wife's competing and she's doing really well. I'm like, okay, well, let me just try. And so I set the goal of becoming a competitive bodybuilder. Okay. It wasn't a let me win a bodybuilding show. It's like, let me have the habits, let me become a competitive bodybuilder. Okay. And that means sticking to your meals and doing your cardio and doing all your training and waking up at the right time and having enough sleep and, you know, living that whole lifestyle. And so I did the show and I won Masters Physique, which was pretty cool. Came away with some gold, which I wasn't thinking about, but it was always, you know, nice to come home with something.
Of course.
But, you know, after that was like, we're driving away from the show, and I just have like so much gratitude and so much love in my heart for completing the journey. Because that was what it was about. Like, I'm like, I became a competitive bodybuilder. And I have tears running down my fucking face. And I'm like such a little girl. And I'm like, man, that was incredible. I did exactly what I said I was going to do.
That's amazing. The fact that you had that experience for your first show, I can relate. The same thing for my first show. I also, entered, and I think at the time I was like super young. I was like only like 16, 17.
Oh, wow.
First show.
You've been around.
Yeah, so, and I went out there, went through my journey, and also, got on the stage, and I achieved that feeling, just for me to be able to say I walked out on that stage and I got to stand there, like I already won.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't care if I come last. I don't care if, I win or whatever. Me standing in front of a whole bunch of people, displaying my hard work and dedication over that time, that's a win. Yeah. And, like any athlete, I made a couple of friends backstage, and I said, all of us are winners, because we've all made it to this day. Some people don't make it to this day. Yeah. They start the journey, I'm going to do the show, and then like 3 weeks later, they bum out. And the fact that, you experienced all that you did with, the tears and all of that, it's more valuable than the trophy. Because, it's like, okay, I got a trophy, now what? So if you're doing it for the trophy, you're doing it for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I said I was going to do it, and I stuck it out, and I did my fucking best, and that was the gratitude part, is I could pat myself on the back and say, well done, you did exactly what you said you were going to do.
That's the best thing, holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, 100%, man.
As you just said, having the tears you had after stage. It sounds so funny. It's like, I'm crying, I just won, but I'm crying. And I had the same experience, because it was just that feeling of gratification, just to be able to say, look, I did it, and it was all me. Yeah. No one helped you get there. Yeah, you had motivation, but no one got you out of bed. No one put your ass on the treadmill. Yeah. No one made you lift the weight. You had to go and do it yourself. And behind closed doors, that's only 1 hour out of the day, or 2 hours max. The other 22 hours of the day, it's all you. Each meal, each time. That's why this is a 365-day, 24/7 sport.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going to play a rugby match and after that hour, it's like you're done. Yeah. This is like around the clock, which makes it so elite, as you were saying earlier. And, it's so funny. I remember in my last prep, now that I prepped for in August, we both did the same show. And I remember there was a couple of mornings. It wasn't just one morning. I got on the treadmill and I started doing my cardio, and, I would just be in my zone doing my thing, 5 a.m. in the morning. I'm tired. It's in the middle of the week. And a certain song would come on. I don't know, that sounds really girly, dude. But I'm busy doing my cardio, and next minute I just like, okay, there we go. And dude, I'd start to cry while I'm doing my cardio, and it's like people like, I'd see a couple of people looking at me, and I'm like, I got my hood on, I'm just trying to stay in my zone. And it's just like that emotion, of that. It's not like a heartbroken cry. It's more just like motivation, dude.
Inspiration.
Inspiration.
Like you're fucking doing it, man.
You're alive. You know, like this is when you're driving to the gym at 4:30 in the morning, there's no one on the road. Yeah. So it's like you're awake, the world is sleeping. And it's like at that moment you realize that you really love this.
Yeah.
And this is pure love. It's not about money. It's not about, this is just your love for the sport.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so amazing. And it's amazing that you experienced that too. That's what I love about this.
Yeah, man, all these big scary bodybuilders just crying like little girls.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it is, I find those tears of inspiration come from when you're doing something that is really meaningful to you. Like I've also had many tears with experience with business pursuits and pushing to finally grow my business to a certain level, finally create that income, finally create that level. And it was exactly the same. It was we did it. That was massive inspiration. And it was after that show and having those tears and things, I just realized what else can I do? You just feel like, man, I climbed this mountain. I've really taken on this challenge and I fucking killed it. What else can I take to the next level? What else can I be successful at? Like, it's just a feeling of being unstoppable, and that's the best time to set the next goal, because like you're already feeling inspired. You're like, man, I can take on the next thing. Let's go.
Exactly. It's like the world is your oyster. You apply that to anything and you go get it. And exactly that. You just mentioned business. It's like, okay, you set a goal in business, and I went after that, and you had that same experience. Yeah. And that's exactly how it can be, because with that same passion that you went into the bodybuilding with, you went into your business. And when you put in that much effort, you can achieve anything. It's like the business might be zero. You maybe start in a loss, but it's like you wake up every day, you do what you need to do, and boom. And when it happens, it's like, okay, now what? It's like I did it.
Yeah.
And I had a similar experience, a little different. I wouldn't say I started my own business. I went overseas, and I went to go work on the cruise ships, and that was quite a hard decision for me, because it was during COVID time, and eventually bags packed, ready to rock, and the president announced like immediate lockdown, not going anymore. So I was like, oh shit. I was like, okay, well now what? Now I'm stuck. And it's like, okay, and that rode out for 2 years or so.
Yeah.
And then eventually everything came back to normal, and I made the decision to still go. Obviously, in the meantime, I was doing personal training, making a living, doing my thing, building my business again. And the opportunity presented itself, and it was like, at that moment, I said to myself, okay, this is what I wanted to pursue in the beginning. And if I set my mind to something, like it's done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it. And I met my girlfriend that I'm with now, like that time, which was like over 3.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was super tough, because at that moment I was like, we had this vision, this life, we wanted to plan how everything was gonna be, and I was like, okay, within a week.
But this opportunity just came up.
Yeah, it's like within a week, like I gotta go.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, shit, this is now getting really real, bro. And it's like, super long time away. And when I went and I made that leap of faith, it's that same experience. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to make this work, And when you realize when you're alone, it's in times when you're alone when you really find your true self. When you're training alone, when you're doing your cardio, when you're eating alone, that's where you find that drive. And I remember sitting on a cruise ship halfway across the world and by myself, and I'm like, if something goes down, like I'm by myself. No one's got me, I don't have any girlfriend. Babe, help, like you're by yourself. Yeah. And that's when you realize, like what it is to be a man and do what you got to do. And I love it.
Yeah, man, I love that as well. No one's here to save you. Cool.
Yeah.
What did you come here for? To kick some ass? Okay, well, off you go.
There you go.
Go make it happen.
Yeah, you're not feeling good. It's like, okay, well, then you don't make money. Do what you got to do.
Yeah. And I love that. Like, no one cares how you feel. No one cares what's going on in your personal life. Just fucking get the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of people that can't phase that out. That get so caught up in their emotions and so caught up in what's going on in their personal lives that that's their reason for not succeeding. That's the thing that they blame everything on. I really was going to go on a cruise ship, but I met this other lady, and now I threw all those goals away. And
it's that switch, man. It's being able to switch your mind, and just go one extreme to the next. But know that you're still doing it with your head on. You're not being irrational. You're still having your head clear, but you're going with direction. Yeah.
My thing is, I would hate to be sitting 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or lying on my deathbed thinking I should have taken that opportunity.
Oh no, man.
The same like you, even with your girlfriend there, you're like, man, should I stop or should I go? And you still chose to go, because if you didn't, you'd just be living there in regret. Before COVID, I also had my bags packed. I was going to move to the UK and start a business there. Wow. And literally, plane ticket booked, everything. 3 days before, they say, sorry, country's closed, we're not accepting anyone. And I was like, okay, well, what do I do now? Anyway, still 2 years later, opportunity arose, and I'm like, okay, well, let's pull the trigger and let's do this thing.
Yeah.
You know, like without doing that, I would have had so much regrets and would have said, you know, what if? And I'd never want to live a life of what if.
No.
I want to say, I did it. This was the result I got. What didn't work out, great. I learned all of these lessons. I met all these people along the way. This is how it benefited me. Man, I'm so grateful for that journey that I went on, whether it works out or not, because it didn't actually work out in the UK. That's why I'm back here in South Africa. But I'm super grateful for that whole journey, that time away, living in a new country. My wife joined me. We grew super close together. So I mean, I've got massive gratitude for that, even though it didn't work out the way that I planned.
Still a win.
Yeah.
You know that's exactly it. It's you know, going through something like that, and like you just mentioned now, you know, the challenges. You know, I say this to a lot of my clients as well, and you know, you do a lot of, you know, motivational talks for your business, and you know, coaching people mentally on how to overcome challenges. And the most common thing I find is when people run into challenges or things in life in general, it's like, okay, well, I couldn't get this done because this happened, and you know, this stopped me from being able to take time to do that. And it's like, okay, you know, I get it. It's, you know, life's tough. You can't depict what life's going to throw at you. Yeah. But you can choose how you're going to react to it.
Oh, definitely.
So it's like, okay, you know, you can either use these excuses and these things that happen. I don't like to call them excuses. It sounds like, you know, I'm like dissing people.
Diss them because it is excuses.
Yeah,
and they are weak.
It's excuses, right? So it's like, you know, you can either take them and just like suck them up and just move on slowly, you know, and be a loser. Or you can take them and you can be like, well, you know what can I take from this challenge? What can I learn from it to be better and to be stronger?
Definitely.
And the moment you start thinking like that and doing that is the moment you're going to start to win. No one's ever going to be stress-free, but you can learn how to manage it. And the time you learn how to manage your stress, then you're going to be able to just cope, because you're not going to just like put it behind you, sweep it under the carpet, have a glass of wine, or do whatever it is, you know. You're going to learn it.
For sure, but like you're saying, just mask the symptoms, really. But if you really want to make a big change, it takes so much energy and so much effort from your side to make that big change, that a lot of people just don't have the balls to do that. That they would rather drink a bottle of wine every single evening, knock themselves out, so that they don't have to think about their problems, or don't have to actually face their things. Yeah. So I've found that I haven't drank in like ages. I can't even remember when the last time I actually had a drink was.
I can't say the same. I had a whiskey a couple of nights ago.
Yeah, well, nice one. But you know, like I've used gym and this whole lifestyle to, instead of having unhealthy habits that, you know, like I said, knock me out and force me to go to sleep.
For sure.
You know, instead, while I'm at the gym and I'm pounding out the weights and everything, and I'm feeling that burn, like I'm still processing so much. And I'm still like doing it in a healthier way, where I get to walk out feeling amazing, but also having put, you know, so many things into perspective for myself.
100%.
You know, and this is helping. Well, what I find helping a lot of people with in terms of training is helping them to find their form of medication out of training. Now, I know you work with a lot of different people, so how do you handle those different personalities and their different reactions, you know, to life and to training?
You know, that's really broad, because, you know, I deal with a lot of people, and, you know, everybody's different. And that's what I try to explain to people. It's like, you know, people in today's times, there's so much out there on the internet that you can literally find on Google. You can type in on your phone exactly what it is that you want to hear. You know, it's like, okay, if I can eat chocolates and still lose weight because this site said so. Yeah. So it's like, you know, if you type in how to eat chocolates and lose weight, you're going to find an answer, okay? Because there's so much information out there. And what I try to tell, you know, a lot of my clients is that everyone's different. You know, my body, your body, Sam's body, Joe's body is completely different. And we need to find what works for you, because that's the beauty about this. So no one's the same. Everybody's different. You know, everyone's body works differently. So, you know, finding that out and finding, you know, I demonstrate it like a car, you know, especially with food. You know, if the body is like a car. The car runs on petrol, oil, and water. Okay? 3 things. Same as the body. The body runs on protein, carbs, and fats. But it's like, how much protein, how much carbs, and how much fats does your body need to operate to do what you want it to do, and taking that scientific, research and being able to understand that, that's awesome, But dealing with the personalities, that's a whole different ballgame, dude.
Oh, yeah.
That's like, that's when I like to just, as it says, personal training. I like to, become personal, but obviously within the business. So I still want to understand, who this person is. What do they think about? How does their mind work? Because it's pointless me to just tell you, okay, up, down 10 times. Bicycle 10 times.
There you go.
It's like, yeah, average personal trainer. Okay, cool. And that's what I'll try to break the mold with, with my clients, is to, like, don't look at me like that, because I'm gonna help you discover you.
Yeah.
Because in today's times, you can go literally onto the internet and you can find someone on YouTube who's got a full video describing everything, telling you how to do a squat, how to do a bench press for free.
Yeah.
So, that's where I try, dig deeper and find exactly what it is that this person desires and needs.
Oh yeah, definitely. But when I start working with people, it's always like the first thing I always judge is like, how serious are you really about achieving this goal?
Yeah.
Because everyone always says, oh man, I want to have a six pack. I want to lose 20 kilograms. I want to do all these things. But when you look at the actions, like the actions tell you everything about someone. The actions will tell you how serious this person is. Because if they were really serious, they would cut the sugar. They would, show up on time. They would do their cardio. They would do whatever, the plan says. So I like to categorize people into like A, B, and C players, like depending on how serious they are about achieving their goal. And my plan is just to like move them up a level. I want to take the good guys who are like really serious about their goals and where they want to be, and I want to make them incredible.
Yeah.
The C guys or the D guys who like aren't really that serious about their thing, I just want to like increase their awareness a bit. But I know that if I coach them too hard, they're probably going to run away. So some people, I understand, it's like a 5-year journey to make you incredible. I know you want to be. I know you keep saying the right things. There's a few bad habits that we're going to have to break through. It is going to take a while, but I can get you there. Like I can get anyone there.
Yeah, 100%.
It just depends on how long do I have to work with this person in order to break through all the bullshit that they've created for themselves, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to be able to gym all the time, but I've got kids, and because I've got kids, that means like I can't really show up every day to train. Like, no, you can. You're just going to figure it out, right?
You're going to find a way.
Yeah, they need to find a way. But so there's a lot of the times I find like people have like all these bullshit stories that they've created for themselves, all these limiting beliefs and all these reasons why they can't do something. And I find that's like the hardest part really is getting to break through all of that bullshit to turn someone into a champion. Because like I know from working with people, like everybody's got a fucking legend living inside of them that's like dying to come out, but it's just hidden under all of the limiting beliefs and like, bad self-esteem and all that sort of thing. But if you go on a journey with me, like if you say, cool, I've got 2 years with you, no problem. Like, let's see how far we can go. I know we can do it, for sure.
Yeah, that's great, man. It's exactly that. It's, making a way to discover that journey. And as you said, if this person needs a little longer, it doesn't mean that they're limited to being the elite, to being that incredible human being that they don't think they can be. Yeah, some people are just going to take a little longer. So 100%. And I love that. I actually really like that. The way that you put that, that's like spot on, dude. That's spot on.
All right. So you've been running your own business for a long time.
Yeah, it's been a good couple, almost now 2 years since I've been back in Cape Town. I'm back from the States, so yeah.
But you were running your own fitness business before.
Yeah. So I was doing that and doing mobile personal training as well. Especially going into COVID, making a way. Having to hustle. So doing what you got to do.
Okay, so like obviously we always have a choice to make. So I mean, you could always be an employee. Work for somebody else, or you can choose to run your own business.
Yeah.
So what really drove you into entrepreneurship and running your own business?
Well, what really drove me into that was it all kind of stems from when I was in the States. So, working for 7-star international company, Steiner, being on the top cruise liners, dealing with a lot of, high class people who are really high businessmen and businesswomen, and still being an employee, So still, listening to a boss and, taking orders and doing this and doing that. And, I can't say I didn't enjoy it because I got to see the world, So I don't think there's any job like that you're able to go and see the world and travel the world and still earn money and make profit, for free. Because, like, I say to a lot of people, I don't think financially it's possible to go and see that much of the world, and still work. Even if you're working remote from your laptop, to be able to do that and go as many places as you go, like, I don't think most people have that money unless you're like, I don't know, Bill Gates or, those top G's, bro.
Yeah.
But I came back and I said, you know what, like, the visions that I have for myself is, I want to be able to take everything that operates in this brain and I want to apply it, not just to myself, because I'm a living, walking proof of everything I preach. Yeah. And I want to show people that, okay, well, I'm going to turn this into a business. Everything I say, everything I think, and I'm going to put it into something like the gym, and help people do that. And the fact that I can then have the freedom to do that by myself, that just thinking to that point, there's so much deeper, but that was the reason I'm like, I need to do this by my own.
Yeah.
And, I had to take that leap. I was like, this is a leap of faith. And at the same time, I said, baby, I was like, we still had a funny conversation laying in bed. I'm like, baby, you love me if I'm broke. She's like, what do you mean? She's like, you got to buy dinner all the time. Like, I don't do this. So I was like, okay, and, but it was at that moment where I was like, okay, I'm going to jump, and making that jump, being that go-getter, I think that's just what,
what you needed.
What I needed, and for personal growth as well. You never know enough. You can never grow enough. Yeah. You can never learn enough. So
definitely, you're gonna go on a massive personal development journey. Go start a business.
Exactly, 100%. And it's that leap of faith where sometimes when you jump, it's like either you're gonna sink or you're gonna swim.
Yeah.
And it's like that's that choice. It's like, are you gonna fight? Or are you gonna just like let it die out? So that's my story. What about you? How did yours go?
So I had a few jobs before I started my own business, and I was always looking at like the salary that I was getting versus the life I wanted to live. I'm like, no, this is not making sense. When I look at my parents, they were employees as well. Looking at their life, we didn't have a bad life, but it wasn't anything exotic, And I'm like, man, I know I'm meant for more. And also, like, the rate at which you can grow in most companies is so slow, and it's so boring and it's so repetitive that I wanted to just pull my hair out and kill myself sometimes, figuratively, that is.
It's real,
For sure, but, and then I'm like, okay, well, look, if I start my own business, I can be as big as I want to be. I can grow it as, all over the country, all over the world if I really want to. And the most important thing is I can be in control. I can be in control of how quickly that growth happens and what I do with my life and what I do with my spare time, and live life on my terms. So I really promote running your own business is like the most empowering thing that you can do for yourself, because you're in control of your income, you're in control of what you go out and make sure you learn and feed your mind. You're in control of how you show up every day because it counts. You're in control of like how big you think, how much you can turn into reality. So, and it's also, like I said earlier, like if you want to go on a massive personal development journey, go start a business. There's so much that you learn about yourself, about your own mindset, your own personal blocks, limiting beliefs, all that sort of thing. And that's the shit you need to get through if you really want to scale and build something huge. Yeah, definitely. It's like, I always like to, it's so like corny. But you revert back to, the first Spider-Man movie. It's like with a great power, you're getting great responsibility. So it's either, through that, managing your own, your own self, your own time, your own salary, all these things. It's like, it's empowering, right? But at the same time, if you're not ready mentally and didn't take every step along that journey and secured each block before you took the next, like, man, you're in for a surprise. It's like, if you're not ready, like, damn. And in saying that, you can also never be
ready.
100% ready for that.
You know, so it's like a tricky thing, but you know, I think you get what I'm trying to say. Is like you got to go, you got to take that step in confidence, and when you get there, whatever comes your way, have your algorithm have your way of dealing with things, because everyone's got their own way of dealing with things.
Yeah.
Once you tick those boxes, that's how you go.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, I know, well, especially a lot of new entrepreneurs, they say like one day in my life is like a roller coaster. Like I'm up, I'm excited for 5 minutes, and then I'm like down and I'm almost trying to kill myself. And I'm like, wow, that is like a crazy way to live, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the biggest thing that holds people back is just learning how to manage their emotions effectively. And I like, obviously, like the way that you think is definitely the same way that I think, that you just find the positive out of any negative or any challenging situation that you're finding yourself in. And when you find that positive and you find that blessing, then your emotions like completely go down. And then there's nothing to be feeling emotional about, and then you can make proper decisions again.
Exactly.
Yeah. But when are you ready to have children? When they come, right? Like no one's ever ready.
Yeah.
When you're ready to be an entrepreneur, well, when you make the decision. But it's how quickly can you balance your emotions. I find, especially for new entrepreneurs starting out, that is like the biggest thing that holds them back. So what do you do to help you manage your emotions?
So what I do to help me manage my emotions is, I lift heavy shit. No, I'm joking. Yeah. So the gym is a major part for me.
Yeah.
But what I will say is, you know, having fluent communication, you know, with your partner, like whatever you're going through, maybe they don't understand because they're not in your shoes, even though they live with you, they watch you, they do, you know, and over time they get to know how your mind works. But it's like having someone that you can communicate with, because you can go and you can go to the gym, you can go for a run, you can do all these things to process and, you know, sit by yourself. But if you also don't have someone to talk to, eventually that shit still bottles up.
Yeah, definitely.
So you need someone, you know. For me, I talk a lot. So, you know, I verbally, that's the way I found that if I get it out, okay, maybe sometimes it's not the best thing because I get that advice back that I don't want to hear. I'm like, okay, fuck, I shouldn't have asked you because now you're telling me what I don't want to hear. But then I go back like a day later, I'm like, okay, you know what, maybe you're right. You know, maybe what I needed, that was what I needed to hear. And that's how I find is, you know, along with, you know, being by myself and being in a clear mind, you know, I always said, don't make a decision when your emotions are high.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the worst thing to do. You know, it's like, oh, but I'm certain. It's like, just
calm down. Give it a week.
Give it a week, give it some time, you know, put the phone down and then come back to it. And when you come back, did I really think like that?
Yeah.
Okay. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, you know, like you say, lifting heavy shit, like definitely, you know, just get that frustration out, that initial frustration. But, you know, like with my coach for bodybuilding, I tell him everything that's going on so that he's able to help me to just navigate, you know, what's going on in my personal life, how my hormones are reacting, you know, especially when you come to prep and you come to those last like 3 weeks and you're just angry at everyone and you just want to fight everyone and all that. You know, he's just able to be in my corner and just to help me walk me through a few things. And I've also got a business coach, a personal coach, like someone who helps me in my personal capacity, in my business as well. And I really feel that just having that outside expertise from somebody who's walked the journey that you're trying to walk, you know, has been there, has done that, has experienced the ups and the downs, and can just like really help you to manage that emotional state, to bring you back down to reality. Like that is absolutely vital. And I find it also with the clients that I work with. Some people just, you know, just need someone to talk to.
Yeah, that's exactly it. That communication, you know, when you get that communication, it's like, okay, you're not alone.
Yeah.
You know, these people are going through some of the things, you know, if not the same things. Yeah. And when you find that, you know, that common aspect to whatever it is you're dealing with, it's like, okay, well, that's pretty similar. And, you know, you relate. And because you relate, you don't feel alone in the world.
That's
like, okay, well, shit, everyone's going through something, and we can pinpoint, and, you know, maybe there's something I can give you that can help you, and maybe there's something you can give me in return. So, you know, and that's how it works.
Yeah, definitely. You know, like one of the first things when I'm experiencing like a big challenge, the first thing that goes through my mind is, this sucks, but it happens.
Yeah.
I'm not the first person who's experienced this, and I won't be the last one. And I'm sure somebody's figured this thing out. So if somebody else could figure it out, I'm sure I could too.
Yeah, exactly. Down the line. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, definitely, man. All right, well, Aaron, just wanted to say thanks so much for joining me today. Really appreciate everything. Great insights.
Dude, awesome. I loved it. Thanks for the chat. And it was awesome to be on your podcast today.
Awesome stuff, man.
All right,
Cool.
dude. Take care.
Cheers, brother. Thanks.